There are three big lies that college admissions officers tell themselves and students all the time during the college admissions process. And we've talked about the number 3 lie and the number 2 lie in previous videos, and you can find links to those below this video. But today I want to speak about the biggest lie that college admissions officers tell themselves and you throughout the admissions process. And I make that very clear because, again, many admissions officers are very good people. They don't mean to be deceptive or big liars, but they have a job to do, and whether they believe it or they just buy into it or they just bite a bullet and tell a lie and they know it's a bull-faced lie, it really doesn't matter. The end result is if they're lying, and you need to know about these lies. But again, most college admissions officers are very well-intentioned young people. So what is the biggest lie? The biggest lie, and I heard it again this week, and again, they were really nice people telling me, so I felt bad that they were telling me this, but it's just patently obviously wrong, is that when you hear I'm going to laugh, when you hear a college admissions officer tell you during an information session regarding the application process and what to do about your essays and your resume, and they say something along the lines of, make sure that you don't have any adult work on your essay or resume for you with you because we see through that. We can tell when it's a 45-year-old man or 74-year-old woman helping you with your essay. Now, whether or not they believe this lie or not is, again, beside the point. I have worked in college admissions since 2006. My business for many years, my income, my livelihood was based off of helping students craft essays that they could not craft on their own. Did it mean that I wrote it for them? No. But you sure as heck better believe that my input vastly changed the trajectory of those essays. And when those students got into Princeton and Columbia and Harvard and schools lower down in terms of selectivity, Tulane's and Rice's and Arizona State's, and West Virginia's, it doesn't really matter. Those colleges accepted those students, no problem. So they didn't see through anything. And if they did see through something, they didn't care. Okay, so this happens all the time. Of course, I'm a very successful writer, counselor, consultant, etc. I'm not a ghostwriter, but I do help students line by line, if necessary, rework things in order to make their written communication skills stronger. Okay, so I'm very good at it. Now, there are some consultants that are really bad, or college counselors that are really bad, and then they will in fact try to rewrite whole essays for a student, and it's so transparent that it's not the voice of the student. Now, I wish I could tell you that those really bad actors, those bad consultants, are always completely found out by college admissions officers too, but I can't tell you that because I have worked at schools in 2 states, 2 countries. I've worked with students from all around the world. And every year, whether I'm in a school or I'm working privately with someone, I will, encounter students that, let's say I'm in a school, who I know their writing skills from years of working with them and looking at their writing, and I can, I see their teacher comments, I see the grades they're getting in English, I see what they got in the SAT or ACT writing section or essay section, and then I see a final draft essay that they produce. Or in many cases, I won't see the essay at all. They intentionally keep it from me. And then they get into like a really awesome school with either an essay that I know they could not have produced at all on their own, or I never see the essay, and that's always a really big giveaway. And a student who had no chance of getting into Boston College all of a sudden is in Boston College. And you wonder why. Yes, they may be paying the full tuition, but you know that student would not have been able to put together 2 sentences in a way that made Boston College not blush massively. So either they are accepting trash writing, which is highly unlikely, or these families are employing consultants or ghostwriters, and the colleges don't see through it. That's the key. They don't see through it. Whether you're a very successful editor, like I sell myself, because that's what I am. I really do help students edit, content editing, proofreading, all that stuff. I really try to hone the message of a student. I always recommend they have a thesis and a body and a conclusion. And very few, even the most talented students, start off thinking like that. But you have to be successful to train them to get to that point. But look, if I'm working with a student at a school or privately for several hours on an essay, there's an adult that has a hand in that essay. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, and of course colleges don't, because college presidents have speechwriters. President of the United States has a speechwriter. So these people are essentially condoning in high levels of power in our society reading words that are not theirs. So of course, colleges really don't care if you have a ghostwriter or not. If they cared, they would do the right thing, and they would not allow you to submit any writing sample that they could not prove for a fact was your work. But has any college really moved in that direction? No. There's technology out there today that would allow colleges to only accept essays or writing samples that were provably time-stamped either online or in some other way, provably created on the spot by the student. Colleges could implement that tomorrow, today if they wanted. They don't want to do it. So they'll tell you this lie during an information session, either in your home community or on their campus, the admissions officers will, that they can see through ghostwriting. They can see through a consultant helping you. They can see through a college counselor who gave you a lot of feedback with your essay. They want the unvarnished true voice of you in your essay or your resume or your short answer. No, they don't. Because if they did, there would be no essay portion of the application, because it's ripe for corruption. And unfortunately, more and more people see this. And so the big joke, of course, is that colleges are either completely delusional, or they're populated by delusional admissions officers, or they really don't understand the very sad state of English and writing instruction, not only in the United States, but around the world. Because if they saw the true unvarnished way in which students write around the world, even the ones that have great scores and great grades, no one would be getting to college at all, because writing is so de-emphasized these days, and English is so de-emphasized. We hear STEM, 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 STEM. Where's English? Where's English? Where's being able to put two sentences together? It's gone. High school administrators, not just high school administrators, primary school administrators, STEM, STEM, STEM. Oh, makerspace. Let's have a makerspace. Whatever happened to writing English? Whatever happened about crafting a paragraph or a thesis? Gone. So the colleges themselves are populated by delusional or hugely lying people. And again, or just in denial people about the true state of writing of college applicants. So, because I see it all the time, and it's quite sad. Very, very, very sad. And it's, I think, a huge symptom of a larger problem, which is just the heathenization of our youth. But that's a whole nother story. The big takeaway I want you to have from this video is that when you hear a college admissions officer from University of Chicago tell you that it's very unwise to work with a consultant, don't show that essay to your English teacher and have him or her make too many comments to it. Don't let too cook cooks in the kitchen on your essay, because we want to see the true you, and we're going to be able to tell if your dad did the first paragraph and your mom did the second and your English teacher did the third. I'm sorry to tell you, it's a big, fat lie. Whether they know it or not, that's, again, beside the point. These could be great people who think they've never told a lie in their life, these admissions officers, but they're lying, because I have seen it. I've been working in it for over a decade, and it goes on and on and on. And colleges are now actually asking for more writing today than they were 10 years ago. And so they want it. They want it the way it is. If they didn't, they would change it in a heartbeat, or they would only assess your writing skills based off of your essay from the SAT or the ACT, or they would create some other measurement where they could actually be sure that you created an original work right then and there, and it's yours and it's not someone else's. But they don't want that. Why they don't want that, that's a discussion for another time. But whenever you hear the big lie, we can see through an adulterated essay. We can see through an essay that's had too many cooks in the kitchen. Don't have someone write your essay. I mean, I hate to say that. I don't write essays, but there are so many consultants who write essays. I would venture to say there are a lot of college counselors who help students write essays, school-based college counselors, and they get away with it every year. I've seen it with my own eyes. And what can you do? What can you do other than just tell you this is a lie? Colleges cannot tell when someone has written an essay for you. And sometimes they can, but the vast majority of the time they can't. The vast majority of the time they can't. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some foolish ghostwriters out there and students out there who it's so patently obvious the kid didn't write it. But that, I would say, is 10 to 20% of what's going on. I would say about 80% to 90% of essays going out that have been adulterated get through and get in to the colleges of their choice. So remember this lie and be a savvier consumer as a result, and a more empowered applicant as a result of this advice.